Hi guys, got a project I'm working on tonight of replacing brakes, rotors and pads on my dad's '05 Ram 3500. The brakes squeaking a little bit as you're trying to stop or grinding, and time to do brakes. He's got the front pads and rotors. Need to get back pads and rotors for it to do the back side, but he's got the set for the front, so I'm working on them tonight. Work tomorrow night, so I always try to find something to do the night prior to, stay up all night and then be able to sleep the day prior to going to work. But if you ever doing rotors, you ever do your own brakes, I got a tool you most definitely should invest in. It's a Harbor Freight, or what I call horrible freight. It's a it's a hydraulic 3-jaw pulley puller. It's a 12-ton bottle jack, more or less. It's in there, but you put it together. It's got all the pieces in it. Carrying case right here for it. Everything goes in there. It's got the different spacers for it to make different lengths. You got 2 holes in here to go in between. Figure out what size you need. But if you ever plan on doing rotors on a vehicle, then I'd highly recommend investing in one of these. They always got their 25% off coupon if you download their app, or you get their coupon book or sales book in the mail. They're always on sale. I don't remember what I paid for this. I bought this a while back working on my pickup, but it's a lifesaver. You get these pads or calipers and pads off, and then you have to pull that rotor off, and they always seize on. They're always built up with rust in here and stuff behind there, and it's hard to get off. And you pound on them long enough, they eventually come off. But if you don't actually need to replace the rotor, then people, you get nervous, you'll dent it or break it, and yeah, just break them or snap. So I'm always afraid of breaking them. I don't want to break it, but this one I'm replacing, so I wouldn't have cared to break it. But I beat on it for a while and finally got this off the shelf here. I bought it a while back. I was doing wheel seals or axle seals in my pickup and couldn't get the calipers off or the rotors off. Used every trick in the book, beating on them. I had the C-clamps out, and people tell you to use a board on there and the C-clamp, and well, you just can't get those things on there perfectly. Sometimes they pop off fairly easy, but I fought with it probably 6 hours one day and couldn't get the one off, and ran to town and got that and come home, and 10 minutes later I had both sets off and the axles pulled. So definitely a lifesaver. When I get the other side here, I'm sure it'll do the same thing. I'll show you how to set it up and how easy it works. Just put it on there and pump it up, and then take a hammer and just tap it, and it normally pops right off. So yeah, highly recommended tool to have. You think it's a expensive tool, or you can't justify it, but I kind of thought, I'll only use that one time, and here I am just a few months later. It comes off the shelf again. But it works out pretty good though. You just center it up in the center of your axle here, you hook it on your 3 sides and pump it up, and then take a hammer and just tap the back side or on the end here, or anywhere, and normally gives enough to jump off there. But when I get the other side, I'm sure it'll be the same way, and I'll set it all up and show you how easy it is. Alright, here's the other side. I've already tried hitting with a hammer. About I don't know, it's a 2-pound sledge or something like that. Little handheld pound on the back here. I have not gotten that to budge yet, so I will be using the best investment I made, I guess. I'll get you guys set up here, and hopefully you guys can see setting it up. Looks like you guys can see there. So, get it up there. Find the spots. Screw it out. Alright, so I got it up on there now. It's going to probably be a little hard to see. Try and move the light around. I have another adjustment. I probably should move that to the second hole there, but this will actually probably work just fine. Worked on the other side, so. But it has a screw attachment. Our threads here, where you can screw this cylinder in and out to get some adjustment on there, and then you got the actual pump that pushes the piston right out the center in there. I'm gonna do this, move the light out of the way. Let's see if it's just pump it up, put some pressure on it. Grab my hammer, grab my hammer. There it popped. So now it popped about halfway out. There it's out. Took me about 2 minutes, and that was probably because I was trying to hold the camera and do it all one-handed here. But pops right off. Said doing it by yourself or isn't even that bad. Be a little helpful if you had another set of hands, but even doing that mostly one hand after getting on there, 2 hands after that, holding the camera with one hand and pump it, put some pressure on it. You don't have to keep pumping until it pops. Just put some pressure on it, grab a hammer and tap the back side of that rotor. If it pops out, don't pop out right away. It didn't even hard. Just pump a little bit more, grab the hammer and tap the back. That one slid out about halfway, and then I pumped it, put some more pressure on it, tapped it, popped right out. So beats the hell hitting that thing with a hammer for hours or even minutes. Takes me, I don't know, a couple minutes to set that up, and then you're ready to go. And saves you a lot of frustration, and the frustration is most definitely worth the investment of that. They make different sizes. That's a 12 ton. I think they had a 7 ton, but I ended up grabbing the 12 because the 7 wasn't big enough, wide enough jaws. I said, and to do that, I probably should have had that in that second hole, but it don't take much to put a little pressure on there. So if you ever guys plan on ever doing your own brakes, you have try it without it if you have to or whatever, but definitely if you can afford to spend the money on that, I would. Definitely saves you a headache and the frustration and the yelling and screaming and cussing and throwing stuff, and you end up breaking something else anyway, so saves you the money in the long run, I suppose. I've tried the C-clamps, like I said the last time when I did my truck. Tried the C-clamps, and where you use two C-clamps, and you come on the back side of the rotor, and then you put something to going across to put on the center stud, or across there if you put your lug nuts on or whatever across there, and then you put pressure on both of them and pop it out. It's the same concept, just a heck of a lot harder to try to get it balanced and everything else. So come across with that, it hooks right on and pops off. Now that's all the way free, and take that off. So don't hesitate in spending the money. If you're leery about it working, it definitely works. Like I said, I bought it for mine, and it's been sitting on my shelf, and glad it was sitting on the shelf today, because I wasn't gonna, like I said, I beat on that probably 5 minutes and on the other side and couldn't get it. So I got that out and set it up, and away we go. So if you guys can afford it, I would add that to your tool collection. Said I think it cost me 50 bucks, maybe 60 bucks, I don't remember actually, but Harbor Freight, order it, or if you have a local store, go in there and get it. Definitely worth the money.